Hello and welcome to Film Takes. We decided we wanted to do a quick episode on The Wild Bunch, a film from 1969, directed by Sam Peckinpah.
It's one of my favorite movies personally, so that's where I'm coming from. It's one of my favorite westerns in particular. Basically, it takes place. Does it say what year it takes
It's
place?
1911.
1911. Essentially, it's these older outlaws that can't let go. They have to keep doing their thing, and now the West has like become a civilization. It's like it's a real part of the country. It's not just the Wild West anymore.
Absolutely.
One of their former cohorts is now working with
He is now quote unquote civilized.
yeah, and he's hunting them. He's played by Robert Ryan. It's Deke Thornton is the character's name. He used to work with William Holden, but now he's hunting them essentially with who's trying to hunt. It's not the government. It's
a train mogul.
That's right. William Holden's the main guy in the outlaw bunch, and among him you have Ernest Borgnine, Ben Johnson, and Warren Oates as really the three other main guys. And then there's a Hispanic actor whose name escapes me who plays this younger
Angel.
guy. Yeah, Angel, who's running with them. There's like 4 major action sequences in the film. The initial robbery at the beginning, you have what happens with Angel, then you have the train robbery, and then you have the final
shootout, yeah.
And I should say, The Wild Bunch was probably the most violent film ever made when it came out, like at the time.
Very much so. It's so incredibly. That was one of my comments watching it. It is incredibly like tons of blood squibs, lots of nudity for a film from '69, especially like a older western.
Like we were talking about recently, the Fury, all the angles you see of the explosion at the end. That's a very like Peckinpah thing. Let's like give you all the angles of this guy getting shot.
It happens in the opening heist. The editing does the same thing in the final shootout where some guy gets shot off a roof.
Yeah.
And it keeps cutting back to him falling.
The film has, to me, one of the boldest opening sequences I've ever seen, where you see these young kids put a scorpion on an anthill, on a fire anthill, and watch the ants devour it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it tells you what kind of movie you've signed up for right then and there.
Pretty much.
This is a cold-blooded movie. The first line you hear our main character say is, if anybody moves, kill them. They're not good men. They are not good guys.
You would argue they need to be put down.
Yeah, and Robert Ryan is probably the most human character in it, as Deke, he's the only one that you really get that much of a human connection with. Other than you do see William Holden's backstory and why he's back in the business. Basically, his lover, got killed while he was having an affair with her. Her husband comes in and kills them, or kills her, and Ernest Borgnine in it is a bloodthirsty bastard. Like, he is not a good guy in any sense. There's nothing really human about him. He just wants to kill people. Right at the beginning, after, the initial bank robbery, one of their friends he's going to die at some point anyways, so William Holden kills him, and Ben Johnson and Warren Oates' characters are like, should we give him a burial? And he's like, oh, should we pray over him too? He's like just making fun of the fact that they would even think of, giving this guy a proper burial.
Yep.
He's cold-blooded to the nth degree. He's a